good day to you. Today is the 5th day of the Adventure of Appreciation calendar. And I want to start by telling all of you who see me coming up in your feed, if you're not engaging with this, if this isn't for you, then pause me. Put me on snooze for 30 days because I'm going to finish this calendar at least until Christmas, or as I said, for full moon cycle. By the way, say hello to my Buddha in the corner there, a fountain. So yeah, if this is something that doesn't resonate with you and you happen to see me in your feed, just snooze me for 30 days. The good thing is I have not had one single complaint about making these videos, so I guess the opposite must be true because there's a lot of people who enjoy them. I hope you are one of them too. What's going to happen forward from now? Well, the next period of 7 days, the topic will be peace, and it's probably going to be a very calming, comfortable, relaxing, zenful part of this calendar. I may dive into some dark stuff if I feel that is needed. Maybe we have to explore the opposite of peace for a moment, but mostly peace. Right now, it's the last day where the subject is hope. And if you watched yesterday's Advent calendar day thing, you discovered one of your switches. You discovered a moment in your life where you went from darkness to light, where you went from something that felt less than good and then finally began to feel good about it. I hope you did that exercise. If you didn't, that's perfectly fine. You can stick with this video and you can do what we're going to do here, which is a very easy, simple thing. But if you did yesterday's video and you ask yourself those questions about where you were, where there was a period of darkness, a patch of suffering in your life, and something that you overcame, that was a period that you are now beyond, above, and through, and something that you mastered. So what I'm looking for is, what is your portal between feeling generally not good and feeling generally good? When you begin to look with a certain perspective, you begin to find a lot of wisdom. And this is relating to asking the right questions, asking yourself the right question. If you begin to ask, what is my portal from going from dark to light? If that makes sense. This is a question you may want to ask yourself. Because if you identify one, just start with one of those portals, those switches, those door openings, something that transports you from feeling bad to feeling at least a little better. And there's a lot of portals here. I have a whole list of portals that I use whenever they're necessary, and they kind of come naturally when you begin to look for this. But let's take one common portal that we have talked about all this week, which is hope. Hope is the step that lets you enter the promised land, Hope is the first step of feeling actually good. Everything up to hope is on their way to hope. If that makes sense. So it's literally the main portal. But let's talk about a specific portal. And I call them portals because they are emotional portals. They are like quantum entangled points of existence, and you can create them. I'm going to give you one very specific one that I have that it works like a magic for me. It's related to week 3 more than anything, but I'm going to give it to you now. Maybe we'll talk about it in the future. But let's take a basic one that I learned from an amazing mentor of mine. His name is Guru Kev. His name in the past was Kevin Trudeau, and his name is still Kevin Trudeau. He's in jail now, but I've learned a lot from him. And I learned this also from perhaps one of my main favorite mentors, Michael Bernard Beckwith. He was in the movie The Secret. He has been on Oprah. He's the leader of the Agape Church in America with his wife, Ricky Bebe Byers. Anyway, they're a great couple, and he talks about this as well. So two of my mentors have mentioned this on separate occasions. So what am I referring to here? So anger, let's say when I'm feeling angry, when we feel angry in life, what do you do with that energy? How do you channel anger? Do you have a lot of broken things in your home? Maybe not the best way to channel anger. Do you have a lot of broken people in your life? Probably not the best way to channel anger. Have you broken yourself down and not been able to rise up with new pieces? Maybe not the best way to handle the energy of anger in your life. Now, here is one way that we kind of agree with in the self-development community when it comes to anger. Anger is a powerful energy. It's an amazing energy. It has a lot of particle flow, which means you have an intensity of focus when you are angry. And you can actually use that to your benefit. And you use it by becoming very clear about what you don't like. Because if you're angry, if you have descended into anger, which is perfectly fine, but if you're there, you are angry about something. So own that. Own your energy and say, I'm angry and this is what I'm angry about. And when you start looking at what you're angry about, start to begin getting that ball rolling. Start thinking, feeling, and just putting, wood on that fire to feed your own anger. And you do this in your own controlled environment. You don't look at a person or a pet or anything living. You're just dealing with your emotions. So it's a very internal exercise that seems external. So you don't do this amongst innocents or people at all. You do this for you. So you feed your anger until you become very, very clear about what you do not like. So clear that you can feel the energy almost reaches a tipping point. And when you feel that you've built enough energy, you kind of almost deplete your anger. This may take, a minute, whatever, it can take two. You spend as little or much time you want getting angrier. But when you're at that point where you feel like, I have this energy focused now, I have this ball of explosive rage, focused in, there it is. Now what you do is to say, I do not want this, I have gotten enough of this, and then you turn your back energetically 180 degrees and say, what I do want. It's like closing the chapter, turning the page, and pointing directly now at what you do want. What is it that you would like to have? And with that huge ball of energy building from being angry, and I have a lamp here that responds to energy, you may see colors circulate as I'm speaking. When you have that huge energetic focus, you focus that directly now, 100% on what you do want. And you only ask, you see, what I do want is, you don't need to know what the next words are. You know how anger is? You know how it is when you are enraged with an emotion? Words come out that you don't even remember having thought of, You say things that you may not mean, whatever. That is how every emotion works. So if you say, what I do want is, and you put that conscious phrase in there, put your focus now in the direction of what you do want, now you will notice how that space, the thing you're pointing to, even without knowing what you do want is necessarily, will begin to fill in. The energy will begin to fill it up, so you will realize what you do want. It's very easy. If you don't like to have a too hot temperature in your home, then you say, I want it colder, and then you keep going, right? I want it to be a comfortable temperature. I like it cool and chill. Or if you would like it hotter, you're like, I want it warm and cozy, It's so easy to know what you want when you know what you don't want. If you're drawing and you're trying one color, especially on your cell phone before posting anything, and you're using a color and like, oh, I don't want that color. That color didn't work. Let me try this color. I want that color. If you don't even know what color to choose, you could say something like, I want a color that feels amazingly good. A color that symbolizes the message I'm trying to convey in this drawing, you know? So you don't have to know what you want. You just have to know something about it, right? I know I elaborate a lot on this idea, but I mean, I could talk about this for a long time. I could say days, I don't know, I haven't done that before, but I could talk about this for hours now because it's such an amazing topic. And this technology, because it is a technology, it's a technology of the heart, it's a technology of emotion, it's something you already have built into your bodily system, your energetic mind system, your consciousness. It's so powerful because it lets you transform literally, well, virtually, lead into gold. It lets you transform anger into focused, passionate, energetic joy. It's a portal. It will lift you to some higher level if you focus anger directly on what you want. Yeah. Now, these videos, by the way, I make these for free. I'm just sitting down talking and spending time every day doing this. So there won't be as perfectly made as I would do if I made a course, if I made something more structured. I would make sure to perfect it and prepare even better. Right now, I'm just giving a gift, not expecting anything in return, except the joy I'm having giving it away because it has helped me so much. So I'm glad that it still gives you value. I'm just talking here and sharing my own personal experience, my own first-hand wisdom in a way. So yeah, that's my excuse for not editing this down to a short video. If you want shorter videos, I'll make shorter videos. Just ask. I want shorter videos, okay? Because you have to tell me. I want what I want, I'm doing. I'm having a tremendously joyful time doing what I love. But here's the thing, I want for you to have what you want. And if shorter videos is of benefit for you, if that fits your life and schedule much better, if you ask me, I might say, I like that idea, I will do it now because I have a purpose. You give me purpose when it comes to these videos. Ask me. You know, ideally, ask in a kind, loving, curious, appreciative, anything like that way. A way where I can feel that you're pointing towards something you want, something I could facilitate for you. Because I can make short videos. It's just that I won't be able to communicate a verbal idea within a time limit like that. I will communicate something entirely different. And it may be exactly what you want. So tell me. I will do it if you tell me. I will consider doing it if you tell me. Yeah. Thank you. So for those of you who actually write a comment and say, hey, I actually would prefer a short video, about 3 to 4 minutes, then thank you. I really appreciate that you tell me what you want, because actually one of the things I love the most in life is to know what people want. It's one of my main interests in life. So I realize many of us, we want to feel better. We want to be able to step out of suffering immediately. You know, we don't want to be like a particle of sand laying on the beach for eternities before slowly being washed out by the shores and merging as a mineral in the water. We want sometimes to have fire, to be able to transmute anything in a moment, like that, like psst, you know? That's what we want sometimes. That is how easy emotions can be. When you know how to tame the flame within your heart, when you are the master of your own emotional body, it becomes the easiest thing in the world to tune your emotions anywhere you would like to go. I do this on purpose because I just want to show you it's that easy. It's so easy. It's not an act. You can. This is what it's about. It's about you. You have this available for you. Ask the right questions and the right answers will be given. Study within yourself more than anything else. You do not need me at all. I'm just a messenger. You do not need me. I'm not it. Never think that I'm it. I'm just giving you, I'm pointing to the moon, as Bruce Lee says. When you see someone pointing to the moon, do not become focused on their finger, because you will end up missing the heavenly glory that it's pointing towards, right? This is not videos pointing at me, although I feel good making them. I love this, and I hope it's contagious. I hope I am more contagious than any virus. I hope this joy, this passion, this drive that I'm feeling, this blissful lovemaking with reality that I'm having, I hope it rubs off. I hope it's contagious, because I invite you to let it become a trigger of who you are, you know? I hope you use it to your benefit, your advantage. This is a Saturday video, so I'm glad I can just speak and talk as I please right now. It's my video anyway, and no one has said make shorter videos, so who cares? I will do this exactly as I want. Isn't this beautiful, by the way? I want to show you my things now. You see, this is just a lamp, an improvised lamp that I made. I'm not having any studio, obviously. The quality of these videos is like below par, but they're functional. But I love the beauty of things. And by the way, I'm going to share with you two things before I end this video. Number one, what I promised you in the beginning of this video, which is my own discovery, not Kevin Trudeau's, not Michael Bernard Beckwith's, who tells you about how to transform anger into passion through this portal called Focus. Focused intent, from what you do not want to what you actually do want, you know? That is an amazing gift. Use that portal. But as I said, first of all, ask yourself the question, become an observer of your own life journey, so you can see when you use a portal of emotional well-being. You have several ways that you feel better, and you have also portals down into darkness. You have ways of feeling less good. This is shadow work, you know, working on the lackful weaknesses. You can gain tremendous benefit from noticing them too, but I can assure you, you will gain a lot more benefit from focusing on what works in the direction you actually want to go. When you start to put more attention, I mean, if you walk through the woods on the same trail, you begin to choose a trail that you love, and you walk on that trail, that path in the woods every day for a year, guess what? That trail is a freaking road. You see, it doesn't matter that you wandered off into the woods, fell off the cliff 15 times, metaphorically, if you find a path that you enjoy walking upon. You see, this is why positive focus has tremendous benefit. So focus on the things that work in the beginning, and when you get to a level emotionally, it can take a minute, it can take a year, it can take 5 years, it can take a month, it can take a day. But when you get to a point where you feel like you, in yourself, are able to handle any type of shadow work, any type of issue about triggers, you know, uninstalling triggers. We're going to talk about that, I guess. If you ask and remind me, I will definitely talk about uninstalling triggers. That would be a great topic for next month, next week. If you ask me, remind me, I will do that. Yeah. So uninstalling triggers, that is a great exercise, but first and foremost, start walking the trail that you want to be walking on the most, because it's like a trail in the mind, it's a trail in the brain, it's a neural pathway that you start practicing, a certain stream of consciousness that becomes bigger and wider and more as you magnetically focus on it, and law of attraction is activated, and it becomes this beautiful magnetic core, this pulsating space of existence that suddenly heals everything around you. So shadow work becomes almost irrelevant, although it's not. It's very, very helpful, but it's at another level, in my opinion. I'm not telling people that you are at a level higher or lower. This is not a hierarchy thing about being better or worse. This is just reality, how natural progression functions in a harmonious way for you if you want to feel good throughout your entire self-development journey. You see? Yeah, I hope you see. I'm sure you can feel. Yes. So here's another portal. As I said, 2 things that I will share from now until the end of this video. Number one is my personal favorite portal. Number 2 is I have started a fundraiser for myself. Well, really for all the people I can help through this thing that I'm fundraising, which is a new laptop. My laptop crashed. I have a camera and everything ready, but I don't have any computer to process that type of videos. So I have a Facebook profile where I've given out this idea of a fundraiser. I have no idea if anyone is going to feel compelled or wanting and willing to just give and say, yes, I want to put wood on his fire. I want him to continue in this direction. I want him to be able to produce. I give him a 1 kroner, you know, whatever, symbolically, whatever, or I give him whatever, you know. I started a fundraiser. Now I'm talking about this first. I'll give you the best at the end. Yeah, isn't that good? Yeah. Sometimes we need that cherry on the top of the ice cream. I'll give you the last portal after telling you this. If I may, if I don't go through towards the end of this video, if not, I'm going to spend a minute talking about this idea, this fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for no business other than my own. And my business is about you, obviously. I know about me. I want to earn money on this in the future, of course. I know I provide value. But for now, I'm giving a lot of free stuff in an unorganized way. What I want to do is to organize it. And to do that, I need a really good laptop that I can bring anywhere so I can work anywhere. And I simply can't finance the entire laptop on my own at this point. It's not a wise financial decision exactly at this point during Christmas and everything. So what I've done is say, hey, my birthday is coming up in 3 days. So I'm celebrating this entire month, and if you'd like, you can help me finance 50% of this laptop. I've said I will come up with 50% myself, and if people want to donate, you can donate at least 50% as a total. Maybe I'll increase it if people like giving, but who knows, maybe no one gives anything, which is okay. But if you appreciate these videos, go to my Facebook personal profile, Theo Flove, Theo Flove, and look at today. You know, today this fundraiser was created. It's the 5th of December. And it says something about a goal of 5,790 kroner, which is about 50% of this laptop cost. I know exactly which one I want. And if you'd like to show your appreciation, that is the main way you can do it now. You know, give me a birthday gift. My birthday is in 3 days. I'm going to be 30 years old. It's a round number. All the reasons are there for giving me a gift. No. I know I'm asking. It's uncommon for me to ask like this, but I'm also giving you an opportunity to give. If you felt that you got any value from any of this until this point, you will just fuel my passion so much just by even a symbolic donations of like 10 kroner, $1, you know? And I will manage on my own at some point, there's no problem, but it will go a lot faster if people want to, if we crowdsource and people are like, hey, yeah, I would like Tarjei, or Theo as my name is preferred now, Theo, to have his laptop ready so he can make high quality videos with his DSLR camera and perhaps construct something more structured in the future. It will make it easier. He can use his editing program that he is already in possession of, the software, and it will make it easier for him to deliver value and to process all these requests from people asking about health and asking about anything. People ask about my health virtually every week still. So that would help me a lot to help you, even though that sounds cheesy. Good, that was more than a minute, I'm sure. So if you want to do that, thank you. I welcome you. This is your invitation. If you want to acknowledge any value you've gotten, thank you so much. If not, if you don't have the money, that's perfectly fine. If you don't feel like you want to give, that's perfectly fine. I had a long period of my life where I didn't give anything. And I've tried to become better at just giving, because it gives me infinitely more when I'm allowing to let go, and release and put fertilizer on other projects than my own. So that's an encouragement for now. Feels good to embrace the ability to ask. So if I don't gain any donation, I have at least gained my own ability to ask for the potential of help. Good. Okay. Are you ready for the portal that I want to give you? Now, may I suggest that you take a moment with yourself before watching this last part and ask yourself what your portal is. What way do you feel better? Do you have, it can be physical, it can be physical. Dancing is a great portal, for example. Drawing is a great portal to feeling better, for example. There are physical portals as well as mental and emotional. The one I'm going to share with you is emotional. But you can also have mental portals, I think the one with anger is kind of like a mix between mental and emotional. So before taking the next step right now, perhaps pause the video and just take a moment for yourself, lean back and ask yourself, well, what way do I prefer to feel better? If I were to feel better, if I didn't feel really good and I wanted to feel better, what would I do? Have you paused yet? Have you asked yourself the question yet? Good. I'll take you on your word. If you want inspiration for that, check out Abraham Hicks and the processes they have, especially in their book Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks. They have processes for moving up the emotional scale. But here's a what do you call it? Like novel idea for moving up the emotional scale. This is my own experience. So here you go. When I was little, I watched my father talk to my two sisters and my mother. And I noticed how my sisters and my mother became increasingly frustrated with my father's inability to emotionally relate and to be emotionally available. He kind of was stuck from here and up in a way, right above the heart and up to the mental. And he had fun from time to time. He could laugh and all that stuff, but he wasn't really much connected with emotions, feelings, and all of that. He is more of that now, by the way. But at that time, during my upbringing, he was not. And I could see my sisters getting frustrated at times. I could see my mother getting frustrated at times, angry, because they didn't feel seen or heard emotionally, or even communicated to emotionally. So what this did for me was that I saw my father and I thought, wow, I love him so much, but he doesn't even know how to he doesn't even practice or remember how to receive that type of love. By not being connected emotionally, he doesn't seem to receive love or give love, because just acknowledging how someone feels is in itself an expression of love. It means I dare to hear you, and just that attention at all is a symbol of love, So watching this and seeing that, hey, first of all, I see all the ladies, my mother, my sisters, they would really love to have people who speak the language of emotions. So I'm definitely going to do that. That is one of my goals. I'm going to speak emotionally. I'm going to be available emotionally. I'm going to understand emotions and feelings, because my father has inspired me to do so by not being it at that time. And what this led me to, and here's the point about portals, emotional portals. is that every time I feel anything, and this has lasted up to this day, even now, at a nice, ripe age of 30 in 3 days, I still use this. And what do I use? Well, here it is. As I said, whenever I feel anything, absolutely anything, whenever I feel anything, I'm reminded that I can feel. And just the fact that I can feel reminds me that I have a gift. Because not many men, especially from the generations before us, my father, he becomes 88 tomorrow. He's also a Sagittarius on the 6th. We're going to celebrate. Even my father, he was 88 years old, and previous generations, even some of the men of our generation, seems to be slightly emotionally amputated, you know? There's even women who become so masculine and so expressive and extroverted that they forget to listen to their own heart, their own feminine side, their own emotions, their own fluidity, you know? It's a very fluid thing, emotions. Also a fiery thing. So every time I feel anything, and it could be anything. If I felt depressed, I have in the past, not much, but I know the feeling. If I felt sad, which I do from time to time. If I feel even rejected, oh wow. Or if I feel hopelessness, you know, whatever I feel, I always have an option to look at myself feeling that and saying, wow, Theo, you feel. You see, it's a very basic observation, but it takes you out to the third perspective, looking at yourself, saying, wow, you see what you're doing there? You are feeling. And if there's anything we need in this world, it is conscious feelers. People who can consciously observe themselves and feel consciously, move their feelings with awareness. So whenever I feel anything, I am reminded that I can love, because that's at the end of the day, feelings describe the same beautiful story, and it's the story about moving in and out and through and to love. I'm not going to give you any foundation for that statement at this point. You just have to trust me on this. But every type of emotional journey is always about some kind of love. Every motivation behind anything that people do on this earth, you can always find a really beautiful, bright pink green thread that leads you to the source that is love. It's all because of some reason that originated from a space of love. That's another point, but taking me back to here, when I feel anything, I'm reminded that I can love, you know? I can feel. I can relate emotionally, which my father didn't do when I grew up. Not much. He does now more. Still though. You know, so it always became something that I loved. So every time I cry, and I look forward to crying. It's a few months since I really had a good cry. But I remember a couple of times, actually, more than 3 months ago, yeah. Anyway, when I cry, I am so thankful, so appreciative that I can feel, you know? It's such a beautiful thing that we have the ability to feel. And because it reminds us that we can love. We do feel for a reason. If you ask yourself, why do I feel this? If you ask yourself the question why, and you're looking at your feelings, your emotions, you'll end up with some pretty fascinating core essence source answers. Ask yourself why. If there's one process I will give you here at the end, there's so much you can use from this video, even though there's so much use. So much you can use from this video. But if there was one process I would give you here at the end, it would be to ask yourself, why do I feel what I feel? and continue asking. And between every time you ask why, between those times, listen. This is the feminine part of us. Creating space is an actual thing. You create space when you listen. You have let me into your space. You have listened as you watch this, which means you are in tune with a feminine aspect of yourself. In my opinion, that's feminine, to be able to acknowledge space and hold space for something to occur or be. So ask the right question and then consult the feminine. Stay in that space. Listen. The question is actually just 10% usually, not much more or less, of the process of creation. You ask the right question. You use the masculine to kind of, what am I asking? Why do I feel this? And as soon as you've used the masculine, the sword of the masculine, you lay it down. And now you're just holding space. You're just listening. And the most beautiful answers pop up when you dare to listen beyond all the fuss, beyond all the chatter. You come back to the heart and you listen with your heart. This is where your most incredible listening device is placed. Hope is the calling of the heart, taking you back to your source. So ask yourself why every time you feel something, even the good feelings, especially the good feelings. Ask yourself why. Why am I feeling this? Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel that? You see, those are ways of asking where you can actually hear that I want to be quiet and listen. Like, where did that feeling come from? Why do I feel this? Oh, really? Okay, so why do I feel that? When you ask that, you will go on a journey within and you'll get to know parts of yourself that you didn't even know were there. And if you dare to go the whole way, you'll end up at a point where you don't get any other answers than one. You'll ask why and you'll get the same freaking answer. In another form, in another way, but you'll see what the real answer is. So that is your process. Tomorrow we're going to light a candle in good Adventüre of appreciation tradition for peace. With that, have a blessed evening, a magnificent weekend. And write to me during these videos. Pause them and write to me when you're watching them if you feel like you're going to write something. Tell me if you want me to speak about certain things. Tell me if you want short videos. Yeah. Good Saturday. And good night.